Sometimes regular old firepower just isn't enough, and you have to dip into that high-powered futuristic technology to get the job done. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down the top 10 mech-based video games.
Here it comes.
For this list, we've picked the top 10 games where you have the ability to control a mech, though some of these games feature on-foot components as well.
Take out the designated target. Copy.
Copy.
Number 10, Front Mission 4.
The enemy! They're here! They must have followed us!
As probably the best entry in one of Square's most niche, long-running franchises. Front Mission 4 and the series at large's bread and butter is the insanely deep character customization and intricate, heavily strategic battle system. Any mech title worth its salt provides some customization, but Front Mission 4 really takes things to the next level. The battles themselves are epic, sometimes lasting up to 100 turns, so this game really isn't for the faint of heart.
It seems like your unit was somewhat lacking.
Still, if you can get past the mediocre graphics and presentation, this is an insanely deep and rewarding experience. Number 9, Armored Core 5. From Software, most known for the Dark Souls series, loves creating unforgiving experiences, and the Armored Core series is no different. The mech customization options are pretty much limitless, the graphics are pretty great, and it's just so rewarding when you finally put together the perfect combination of parts and slap on a custom paint job and emblem. Armored Core 5 was especially cool due to its online conquest mode, which places you on a giant team of mechs slowly trying to obtain worldwide domination one mission at a time. Think of it as a giant, futuristic game of Risk. Number 8, Mobile Suit Gundam Extreme Versus. Mech games and anime have always been extremely popular in Japan, and it all pretty much boils down to the long-running mega franchise, Mobile Suit Gundam. The Extreme Versus series is basically a dream come true for fans of the series. Originally an arcade-exclusive arena fighter, the game boasts a huge selectable roster of mechs to choose from, and awesome graphics to do the source material justice. The gameplay itself is frantic, fast-paced, and exhilarating, with all of the over-the-top anime trappings you would expect. Number 7, Hawken. Employing a free-to-play model, at the time of writing, Hawken is still technically in open beta, but that's not to say it isn't a smashing good time. Mech enthusiasts around the world are hoping that an official launch day will eventually come, because Hawken fills a specific mech niche comparable to games like Titanfall. This is fast-paced, team-oriented gameplay at its finest, combining visceral and exciting combat with cool multiplayer game modes. The graphics are also super beautiful, really creating a sense of sci-fi immersion. Let's hope Hawken's new owners, Reloaded Games, do the final product justice. Number 6, Mech Assault. When Xbox Live first launched in 2002, this game was seen as one of the first online killer apps.
Looks like your lucky day, Tiger.
Halo 2 was still over a year away from launch, but luckily, gamers had another awesome futuristic action game to spend their time with. By today's standards, Mech Assault is fairly simplistic, and yet it was never meant to be a deep, strategic simulation like some of the other entries on this list.
MechWarrior, teach these bastards that battles are fought between warriors, not civilians.
This is a pure, visceral shoot-'em-up deathmatch game, with fast-paced action, a handful of mechs to choose from, and non-stop robot and building-destroying action. Number 5, Shogo, Mobile Armor Division. The 90s saw a huge influx of first-person shooters, most of them being fairly crappy knockoffs trying to cash in on the success of Doom and Quake. Amongst the legion of clones were a few gems, however, like Shogo, which infused the tire genre with awesome anime style and cool mech-based combat and missions.
Who are you?
Get out of here. I won't spare you next time.
The game jumps between on-foot and mech-based levels, but every stage is bloody, violent, and action-packed. Plus, it's a hell of a lot of fun to play. Number 4. Steel Battalion. Most remembered for its insane bundled controller, featuring a whopping 30+ buttons and levers. Steel Battalion is definitely the most realistic and immersive mech game ever created. This is hardcore simulation to the extreme. The game cost $200 upon release, but you were paying for the most accurate depiction of being an actual mech pilot in video game history.
This is August. I read yours complete, over.
The game itself is a relatively straightforward mission-based action game, but it's the small touches and immersion that make this a must-play for mech aficionados. Nothing puts you in the cockpit quite like Steel Battalion. Number 3. Xenogears. The only JRPG to make this list, this Squaresoft classic deftly mixed an intricate storyline exploring existential themes like religion and human purpose, with high-octane mech warfare. When a conflict between rivaling nations destroys his hometown, Faye accidentally takes control of a mech, Weltall, with which his face is forever entwined. With one of the most interesting stories ever conceived in a video game, and a deep, combo-based fighting system, Xenogears stands the test of time as one of the best Japanese RPGs ever made. Number 2. Titanfall. Mech-based combat is only half the fun in Titanfall, an intense first-person shooter and one of the strongest titles for the Xbox One in its earliest months. This game flawlessly combines on-foot, parkour-style wall jumping, and double jumping with kick-ass mech piloting gameplay. Being on foot or in a mech both have their advantages and disadvantages, creating a really compelling dynamic in online matches. The atmosphere, graphics, and sound are all top-notch, but like most online games, Titanfall's fun factor depends entirely on the population of its servers.
Executing command override. Evacuation dropships cancelled.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
Confirmed. That's a kill. Don't take time to congratulate yourself. Target destroyed.
Scratch those corvettes. Keep your distance from the enemy frigate.
Number 1. MechWarrior 2, Mercenaries.
I'll take this Dakota scumbag.
The first 2 MechWarrior games were basically the first titles to tackle mech-based simulations, and were extremely popular in their own right. But it's Mercenaries, an expansion pack for MechWarrior 2, that really blew the doors off the genre. By combining the relatively straightforward mech action of its predecessors with complicated resource management involving choosing contracts, hiring personnel, and buying and upgrading mechs, and more, Activision created a really unforgettable experience, and a high point for PC gaming in the 90s. Do you agree with our list?
We've been carrying out our own investigation.
Did we forget any awesome mech games? For more colossally cool top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
Sir, it's real quiet down here.
I think we can call it clear.